Hello, everyone. It's time for me to move on to episode 5 that begins with Carrie climbing up her stairs of her apartment, and she says that she has old lady back, which is a completely common senior condition. Thank you again to the writers for making so many of us more fearful about getting older. And thank you for showing characters who act like they are much older than they actually are. So Carrie is wearing her heels when she goes to the doctor while she's in her gown. I think this is completely ridiculous. And at the doctor's office, Carrie finds out that she has a congenital birth defect and she'll have to have surgery. So she goes out to lunch with the girls and the gay. And Anthony, he was pretty funny at lunch. Meanwhile, Miranda says that Carrie's pending birth defect surgery calls for champagne. Addicts are not this bold with their addictions. I mean, yes, we get it that Miranda's an alcoholic, but the way that they gotta have her announcing her alcoholism and her need for drinks is so stupid. God damn this fucking show. So it's so fucking dumb. So Charlotte finds out that her daughter has changed her name at school to Rock. So basically, Rose made a TikTok video to let everyone know that their name is now Rock. Why did the writers have to go with Rock? I feel that people who are non-binary or transgender, they kind of sometimes go with a name that's similar to their own. So Rose, I could see Rose going to Ross, Ryan, Rob, Ronnie, Riley. So many, well, Riley's kind of a girl's name. But there's better names than Rock. So I'm having a hard time thinking that a 13-year-old, an age when kids are very insecure and eager to seek the approval of their peers, would go from being named Rose to such a dramatic name change as Rock. And then everybody has hated the song that Rock made to announce their name change. But honestly, that's another thing I have an issue with. I have an issue with the fact that a 13-year-old, of course, is going to write horrible lyrics, a really, really stupid song. And that's exactly why I don't think a 13-year-old would have the confidence to put together a horrific song and put it on TikTok to announce a name change. Another point that somebody had made is Charlotte is all up in her kid's ass. So you can't tell me that Charlotte would not have checked, as in gotten a notification that Rock put up a new video and actually watched it herself and known of the name change. I just think that Rose would know that changing their name to Rock is going to get them teased. And by putting up a really stupid song, it's going to get them teased. So it's just not realistic. This show is always going to skip over reality for the sake of being as woke as possible. So then Lily tells Charlotte that her dolls are culturally insensitive, and Rock wants her birth name removed from her room wall. And Rock wants their birth name removed from their wall. And they want to cut their hair short. So just really leaning into the non-binary / masculine side. Brady's girlfriend has her flavored lube delivered to Miranda's house from Amazon. She loves Brady's girlfriend loves how cool Miranda is about, quote, all that stuff. So when I watched this episode back to do the recap, Miranda is shocked when she finds a Quit Like a Woman book about alcoholism in her Amazon deliveries. And when Brady's girlfriend asks Miranda what the book she ordered is, Miranda hides the book and responds with, quote, I didn't order this. It must be a mistake. That's not for me. Okay, pay attention now. Pay attention. Because then Brady's teenage girlfriend, who just ordered strawberry lube, says, quote, see, that's why I never order stuff online. You never know who has access to your information. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stressed. Like, I'm getting really stressed reading my notes. I think that we have just been given more proof that this show is nothing but a parody meets the worst satire possible. You just ordered something online. Why are you saying that that's why you don't order stuff online? Oh my gosh. Tell me what teenager is claiming that they don't order stuff online because they never know who has access to their information. That is what elderly people say, not teenagers. Oh my gosh. See, this is why it took a long time to do these fucking recaps, okay? Because this show is so bad. It's just so bad. All right. So then Miranda goes drinking while Carrie waits for her surgery at the hospital. And when Charlotte talks to Miranda about being a tomboy, Miranda says, I think that if Louisa were here, she would say we're not supposed to use that word. This wannabe woke show is so dumb, though. That's the problem. The wokeness doesn't make sense along with every single episode because there is no plot. There's literally no plot. You know, I'm someone who likes risque comedy, and I like when people have a voice and don't feel censored, and when people don't get offended by everything. And although we keep moving in that direction, I only want to hear from the offended people about what I'm not supposed to say. I don't want to hear about that from anyone else. And I just wish that this show made a little sense. I just wish that it did. And especially the wokeness. It's like I could tolerate the excessive wokeness if the show made any sense at all. So next we are treated to seeing Carrie urinate in the restroom of her hospital room while holding on to Charlotte. They like to remind us about everything grim and possibly unfortunate that could happen to us in our 50s. Thanks, y'all. So then Che arrives and Miranda meets Che downstairs, and Che opens up to Miranda about what it was like growing up. And I hate everything about Cheanda. Come on, I'm sorry. I had to go there. I feel like they need a couple name. So I'm the only one who's made it that I know of, which is nothing to brag about, right? It means I'm just weird and I have issues. But back to Cheanda. I hate Cheanda because Che would never go near Miranda IRL. Che would have the hottest bad bitch of all the bad bitches. And then she'd have so many other bad bitches lined up around the block. You know, I heard that Ellen DeGeneres has like so many bad bitches who always try to fuck her. and like go to her shows and stuff. Like, why? Because she's a very famous lesbian, right? So you're trying to tell me that Che films Netflix specials and they would go for Miranda, someone who cursed them the fuck out when they met them? All right. And she's this, or Che is this sexy, famous, butch A-list comic. She would not be coming for Miranda. She would not be trying to date, or Che, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not editing this shit. Che would not be trying to date Miranda if they were paid. So Carrie tells a story about Samantha fishing out a diaphragm from her fish taco. See what I did there? And Che visits Carrie, and Miranda sees this as a golden opportunity to transition into a lesbian. So Che fingers Miranda, and Miranda screams like she's being murdered. I read that in a Twitter comment that Miranda was like screaming like she was being murdered, and I completely agree. That's exactly how she was acting. And Carrie wakes up and she sees this pathetic ass situation that's happening in her kitchen that is 1,000,000% unrealistic. Wouldn't Che or Miranda yank Miranda's pants down if this was IRL? Miranda was fully clothed. The bitch had a bra on. She had her clothes, her top on, her pants on. What is this? I'm confused. So Miranda says, that was the best feeling I've ever had in my life. Like, Miranda, why are you so desperate? Why? Like, you don't make it so obvious and known how you feel if you feel that deeply about, what happened. So Miranda tells Carrie, so then Carrie confronts Miranda. Miranda tells Carrie that she isn't happy. Then we see Miranda laughing at Che's stand-up. And then Carrie meets a super hot physical therapist, and she offers to pay out of pocket to keep visiting him. And I feel like that's not allowed. I feel like if you have insurance, I kind of have to bill your insurance. But I don't know. I have no idea because I feel like I've been told that before. So anyways, we see Carrie get all dressed up in a beautiful sparkling dress, and she puts on, and we see her in heels, and she said, and just like that, I'm in heels again. And she let us know that she really wanted to recover from her hip surgery so that she could wear heels again. Why aren't we seeing where Carrie ran off to? Where Carrie, the grieving widow, ran off to looking so sexy. So it's such a tease. This show is the worst tease. We want to see that, just like we would have enjoyed seeing more sessions with the hot physical therapist. But people have said it, and it's really true. What this show does is that it just removes, it extracts all the fun out of this show. And out of every situation, every opportunity for something to be fun. They rob us of that. So we didn't get to see where Carrie goes. Miranda is now, she now did some stuff with Che, which I will get into obviously later. And I will move on to recapping Epi 6 of the worst show of the year. It's only January, but I'm just go ahead and say this is the worst show of the year.